One of the things that separates beginner and advanced banjo playing is transition licks. And by that I mean licks that create a meaningful transition from one chord to another. So today we're going to learn transition licks in the keys of G, C, and D. And it's actually going to be easier than you think. First off, the transition licks we're going to learn today are pretty simple and aren't particularly flashy. But that's a good thing for two reasons. First, we need to remember that we're playing backup. That means we're playing behind a singer or someone's solo, and everything we play is there to support what they're doing. Second, if I play a lick like this every time I go from G to C, then it's going to get old pretty fast. But if I play something simple like this, then I'm going to get a lot more mileage out of it. What I'm teaching you today are licks that you can use all the time instead of maybe just once in a while. As in my other lessons, we're going to apply these licks to a common chord progression, in this case a 1-4-5-1 progression. You might remember from a previous video that this progression is found in a bunch of different bluegrass songs, so you can actually use these exercises to play great backup on all of these songs. Okay, so here's our backup exercise in the key of G. I'll play it fast and then I'll play it slow. As you can tell, there isn't anything particularly complicated about any of these licks, at least not as far as bluegrass banjo goes. But this is where so many banjo players get stuck. Playing a lick on its own isn't that hard, and playing a roll pattern isn't that hard. But playing an exercise like this in its entirety is crossing a threshold, which is really the threshold between playing the banjo and playing bluegrass banjo. So here's how to approach these licks and practice them so playing backup in this style becomes second nature. Start by playing the transition lick on its own, but make sure to land on the first note of the next measure. One of the most common issues banjo players face is playing straight through a chord transition. If you can play the pattern for one chord, but you have to pause before going to the next chord, then you have to specifically practice the transition from one chord to the next. If you need to, start by playing the last note of one measure and then the first note of the next measure. Then you can add another note. Do this until you can play straight through the transition lick, landing on the first note of the next chord. If this seems slow and tedious, then you're right, it is, but this is how we're going to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. And if this doesn't come easy to you, like it didn't come easy to me when I was starting to play the banjo, then this is exactly the kind of practicing you should be doing. Okay, here are the exercises in the keys of C and D. And again, I'll play them fast and then I'll play them slow. So if you really want to incorporate these exercises into your playing, then you'll take them one by one and memorize them, and then apply them to songs that you already know. It might take you a little while, but that's okay, it's supposed to. And bit by bit, these licks will become part of your banjo vocabulary. You can get the tabs for all of these exercises on my website, Eli Gilbert Banjo, but I'm always going to recommend that you check out patreon.com/Eli Gilbert Banjo, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get all the tabs that I put out for all of my lessons and a bunch of extra bonus content like extra practice tips and extra tabs. For example, I recently put up some tabs of Ron Block playing backup on Tiny Broken Heart from the Alison Krauss and Union Station live album. So if that interests you, then you should check it out. And if you like this video and you want to learn more about bluegrass banjo, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want to hear about in this type of video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.